Hello, and how are you on this fine June day? We want to welcome you to the Cannon County Chamber Connection, and of course, as always, our thanks to DTC blah, blah, for providing this opportunity for us. We had a very active month in May. I mean, every weekend had multiple things going on in Cannon County, and sometimes I get calls and I think, and they're saying, well, how come you have everything on the same weekend? Well, it's not really just one person that plans this. It's a lot of organizations that, for one reason or another, and it may be because they've always had them at that same time, but then other things come into play. But there's always enough people to go around because they always have big crowds. So, the more the merrier. If one thing isn't to your liking, then something else will be. But this last Saturday, I had the pleasure of going over to a small community get-together and Gazaway Homecoming. And we had a double ribbon cutting over there because the Gazaway store, antiques and gift shop was newly opened. And also the old Melton Bank has been restored by Gary Hancock and his family. I think it's a family affair over there. But we had that during Gazaway Good Old Days, and I'm amazed at how many people showed up actually for the restored bank part. Gary's done a marvelous job in there. He has the original fixtures, and of course, the post office was part of the bank, and it's also there. There was the furnishings and everything are the actual furnishings that were in the bank when it was doing business. And a lot of people came to see that. And also the gift shop and the antique store. Hey, who doesn't enjoy going in there and looking at stuff? And some of it you may have at home. But it's good to go and see it set up in there. And of course, the volunteer fire department and auxiliary had their ham breakfast, and I believe they had a fish supper that night, but I wasn't able to stay for that. But the ham breakfast was great, and all the ladies and the gentlemen that helped put that on, they did a great job with that. And of course, you have to thank Karen Ashford because she puts a lot of time into this event, and I know she does. So with her assistance and Gary and his family opening 2 buildings, and I think he may have his eye on a 3rd one over there. But it's really unique, and if you get a chance to go to Gazaway, they will be open on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And if you call Gary, he would probably, if you want to take a tour of the bank, I think he would probably go down and open it up for you. But when further news develops in Gazaway, I will let you know about that because that drew a crowd, the homecoming and the openings of both of the stores. We do had some guests today, and I'm not sure if 2 of them got lost but I have one here. I have Keith Reedy, and he has taken on a job that he's now working for the Cannon Courier, right, Keith?
I am. And,
okay, there's been a how should I say, not a division, but a changing of the guard at the Courier office.
I don't know if we can call it a changing just yet. It's Kevin Halpern. It was funny, the other day we were sitting in a cafe and somebody walked up to Kevin and said, "Hey, I heard you retired." And I looked at the guy and said, "No, he didn't retire. There's no re to it. He's just tired." So basically I'm helping. I've been, doing some freelance writing for the paper, covering government meetings and also all the sports and stuff. So it was kind of a natural thing that when Kevin did decide that he wanted to retire, that they just go ahead and just move me up to full-time writing. That's all I do. So that's what we've done is we've worked it out to where I'm coming on board as not only a writer, and then all of a sudden Kevin says, well, you know what, I'm not going to retire after all. I'm going to stick around and do the production part of the scene. So now we've expanded my role into not only news and sports, but we're also getting the website up and going again, because it's a good website, but we want to do more with it. We want to enhance it a little bit more. And of course, with that comes the social media, getting people aware that we've got a paper that, that we're not reaching to know that we have a paper, to getting them aware that there is a weekly newspaper out there that they can go and get the answers to most of the questions that they ask in social media, with our Cannon Blast and our different sections that we have.
I always, at the chamber, usually the calls I get, always, I should say, if someone comes through our county and for some reason they're not happy with things, like, for instance, if they get a speeding ticket, then of course we're a speed trap and they hope they never have to go through Woodbury again. But they will call me and tell me things like that. Or if it's something that someone's done to them or something and make them mad, they call the chamber. And I don't know if it's because they don't know where else to call. That's just like call the chamber, they'll do something about it. Well, usually all I can do is listen. Sometimes I apologize and sometimes I don't. Because just like with the speeding tickets, I look at that this way. Our speed limit decreases as you come into Woodbury, and it does. But I've always said, if you can read, you shouldn't get a speeding ticket, because it's right there on the signs. All you have to do is read the signs and do what they say, and you won't get a speeding ticket. But if you go through that 30-mile-an-hour zone doing 60, then yeah, you're going to get a speeding ticket. It doesn't mean it's a speed trap. It just means you didn't pay any attention to the signs. So that man that called me, well, I've had more than one, but that man that called me, I thought, usually I'm very cordial to anyone that calls the chamber, because if they're mad, they're wanting to gripe. So I thought, okay, get it over with. But I also get calls where people are very complimentary. And I think that's a good thing too. And I think they call the chamber because they think just call the Chamber of Commerce. Well, the one thing I always hear is, well, I didn't know that was going on. And I thought, oh my goodness, you have the radio, you have DTC, and DTC also has an event page that runs on, you do have to have their cable to view it, but there's usually events that are on that also. And you have this show that runs twice a week. And if you don't have DTC, you can always Google it and just Google DTC and it'll say chamber shows. And you just click on that and it'll show you Smith County, DeKalb County, and Cannon County. So the Courier's the same way. It comes out once a week. Most all events make it there. If they're not a headline, which sometimes you probably don't want them to be a headline, but if they would be in the blast, which is a page that tells all the events. So, unless you've got a crier, a town crier that just stands out in the middle of town and hollers all these events, you got to read, or you got to look at it on TV, or you got to listen to the radio to be able to get them.
We thought a little bit of ways of marketing the paper, and one of the things that we thought of was a town crier. Maybe send somebody over at McDonald's in the middle of the road with the paper, like they did in the olden days, trying to sell a paper,
Yeah,
but that's, to your point, when people miss the event words about the events and everything, we got a couple of events going on right now that, yes, there was good marketing put out about it. One of them was kind of lacking a little bit, but what we do is to enhance that, to help that along, to help get coverage, even though we're a weekly paper, is we'll go out and we'll do video interviews, we'll do audio interviews.
Well, you're also online, right?
Right, yeah, and we'll put them on our website, we'll market them on Facebook, so there's awareness. So, people can come, and they still will, no matter what we do. They'll come around and go, I didn't know anything about that. Then you know, what can you do? You've done everything that you can. We got Facebook, we got newspaper, we got radio, DTC. I mean, what rock? I guess we need to put stuff under rocks, maybe, for people to look under, you know.
I will tell you this, Facebook, most of the time, just like this last weekend, we had a huge town-wide yard sale. Well, it was all over town, people were having yard sale, but the square was full. And most of that was on, people would put it on their Facebook pages. Now, the chamber has a Facebook that we try to get all the events on there. Does the Courier have Facebook?
We just put one, we've had Facebook, but I couldn't figure out who it belonged to, so I made a new one up, and we just got it online yesterday.
Okay. Putting it on Facebook gets the word out there.
Yeah, it does.
But you've got to make a little effort in the fact that you read it. And most people, I think, anymore go on Facebook. There's a few that don't, but there's very few. I think most people do. So right now, you're going to be doing more of the editorial part of it.
The newspaper reporting part of
Right.
it, yeah. The editorial part of it's going to still be with Kevin.
Okay.
Kevin's going to look over the paper, correct all my mistakes and all my misspellings.
Well, I'll
and
tell you, like
I
the-
don't hardly make any mistakes, but at least that I've been reported, you know, that he reports to me, and then I get the paper and see all the mistakes that he skipped over. And no, he's real good at what he does. I mean, he's been in the business for over 40 years, and you know, when he first got up and stated that he was retiring with the crew that we have, you know, I tried talking him out of it. I said, Kevin, just stick around. I mean, you know, I'll still continue to do what I do, and everybody in the office will do what they do. We're here to support you, you know. Don't retire. You're not, he's of retiring age, but we don't want to see him go because he's got that good experience, and it's hard to find. It is very hard to find in this newspaper industry experience and the connection to the community that he has.
Well, I'll tell you, like he told me. When I asked him, I says, are you leaving or what? He goes, no. He says, I'm going to put the paper together. He says, do you think that's just done magically? And I thought, and do I think you're a smart aleck? No. I don't.
Wait till I tell our publisher about that.
Oh, you have a good
I'll tell him
crew
to
over
watch
there.
DTC Community. You might want to watch the interview that we did with Carolyn. She's got some very new news about Kevin.
Well, that's all right. Kevin's used to it.
Yeah.
He says he puts in there what sells papers because he and I don't agree with the crime report. I don't think it should go on the front page, and he says it sells papers. So there you go.
We have a circulation right now of about 3,000 from what I'm told.
Well,
and
that's
about
pretty good.
1,900 homes from what I'm understanding, and the rest of it's, you know, on the,
Listen, there's some people that live out of state that get the paper.
you know. And there are those that, you know, that are cool with those type of headlines that he puts on there, you know. They're colorful. They'll catch your eye, that's for sure. I mean, we've had people, in fact, you know, we go out every Monday to the stores. We get our papers every Monday. They're in the stores by Tuesday, home delivered by Wednesday in the mail. And we had people come by the office in regards to a controversial headline that he put in the paper, and that's what they wanted it for. They wanted to buy the paper just simply for that article, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, most people, you know, they don't like the controversy, but some are embroiled in it, you know. So
I look at it
kind of cater both ways.
like sometimes when people contact the chamber, I will send them a newspaper because it will have something that they ask me about in there. But the ones that have some of the headlines as to crime, I probably won't send that
Yeah.
because I thought, okay, you're thinking about moving here. I'm not sending you this.
Either that or she takes a big magic marker and
Yeah.
blacks out the section before she sends
Well,
it.
I've never
right?
thought about doing that, but you got a point there, Keith. Okay, Keith, is there anything else you want to tell us?
Not that I can think of. Oh, well, let's just do this. Since Kevin hasn't retired and he's still the editor, he still reserves the right to make the headline. So don't blame me. You know, when you get a
Oh,
headline
I'm not
that you don't
blaming
like.
you.
Oh, I know.
I'm not blaming him.
Yeah,
Kevin does what he thinks will sell papers,
yeah, yeah. So
and maybe
I
he's
just want to
right.
make that clear, that it's not me, it's him. He puts headlines to everything.
That's all right,
All rights reserved, you know.
okay. But you're going to do a little more writing for it. I know you've done the sports pages and some other editorials in there, and they were good. I read them. I read the paper from front to back every week, every single week. Because what I don't know, I find out in the paper a lot of times. So there you
And now
go.
people can go on their website and find out a little bit more. Like, for instance, like I said, this week we've got, or today I popped a couple interviews up with Mark Vance at TWRA about the fishing rodeo. And then Cassell Davis got the Cannon Child Advocacy Center run.
The
So
only
we've got an
thing
idea
is,
for that.
those
So it
two events are this weekend.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it kind of helps remind people that these events are going on. Plus, in the case of the fishing rodeo, where nobody ever really got any word out that it was happening in Woodbury, it gives a little bit more local flavor to it.
But a lot of people go to that fishing rodeo. Little kids like to fish.
Especially
So
since
do
it's-
their daddies and their mamas. But
Especially
this
since
is
it's-
for little kids.
Especially since it's both of them are on the same day at the same place at Dillon Park, almost at the same time.
What?
The Child Advocacy Center run and the fishing
Oh, I
rodeo.
know. But,
7:30,
you
8
know,
o'clock.
if you don't catch a fish, you can go
Do
for
a
a
run,
run.
yeah.
I don't know.
Or vice versa. If you don't want to run, you can go fish or run to the fishing
There
hole.
you are. Hey, it all works out. We may have a couple of things going on at the same time, but you just take your pick. But I'll guarantee you on the fishing rodeo, the little kids will want their daddies to take them to go fish.
Right. Right. You can fish without a license that day.
That's right.
I don't have a
And they
license.
stock Stones River.
Oh, they do. And
Yeah.
it'll be stocked the whole entire day. I mean, there'll be
know.
people that'll be fishing, but it'll be after
Well,
they
you're free to
finish.
fish. The fishing rodeo for kids is just what it's for, like for kids. But after that's over, then if the parents want to fish, which they do, you're welcome to. It's fine. If the fish haven't all been caught, or if they've swam down the river, then you may have to go to another spot. I don't know, but it's all good. Okay. You're welcome to stick with me, but I know you said you had another meeting.
Well, I can stick with you for a little while. if you want
All
me to.
right, that's fine. I did have two more guests today. They didn't show up, or they haven't yet. One of them was the director of the library. And Marcia has a summer reading program that it will be going on. It's already started, but you can call the library and find out the dates and the times of all of the programs that she has for children. And she has a lot of them during the summer. The other one was Star Siebers, and she is with Generations. And they have a 5K run walk on July 15th, or 13th, I'm sorry, on the 13th. And this is an organization that takes care of people, and they have a home here in Cannon County that I don't know how to say, they may have issues with bipolar issues or issues where they need some assistance with everyday living. Okay, in order for these people to have the money to do any kind of extra activities, which is done as a joint unit, not just turned out on their own, they have these fundraisers that help them to do that. So Star may be able to make it on another show and tell us about that. But their walk is called Take a Walk in My Shoes. And it is a 5K run walk, and it will be on July 13th. And if you need more information on that, you can call the chamber, and I'll be glad to give you a number where you can register to sign up for that. Right now, going on at the Art Center, which there's always something going on at the Art Center, but they have an exhibit that's on display right now of Austin Jennings, who passed away here some months ago. He was a photographer, as well as he owned Jennings Jewelers at one time. Plus, he was also the international president of the Lions Club and was a devout Lions Club member until he passed away. But as a photographer, they have pictures that are on display in the Art Center that were taken from 1950 through 1970. And they are pictures, baby pictures, wedding pictures, sports pictures. He was also, I think he took pictures of all the accidents and everything at one time, because there's a lot of really serious car accidents in that. But they're very interesting photos, and I recognized some of the people that were in there, even though I didn't move down here until the 70s. But they're very interesting, and we've had a large crowd to come in and view these pictures. They are for sale for $5 a piece, and that goes to the Art Center because Austin was also, he saw a lot of value to the Art Center and what they did, so he requested donations to go to the Art Center. But you're welcome to go view these, even if you don't buy any. They're interesting to look at. A lot of old buildings. The Art Center is open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 4, and you can go back in there. They're on the wall, and you can just look away and see how many that you might recognize some of these people too. But we've had a lot of people come in and look at them. But I did want to mention that they will be on display through June 22nd. And also, let's see, here's something interesting. June 29th, Rambler is hosting a hog roast at the Reedville Mill from 4 to 8 p.m. The mill is located in Reedville, and tickets include an open fire hog roast with sides, whatever that may be, and that will be made from products from surrounding farms, vendors. There'll be live music, there'll be tours of the mill that does work, outdoor games, and much more. And this is a 21 plus event, so you have to be 21 years of age, because I'm sure that beer will be sold on the premises. And guests will be asked for an ID upon arrival. So portions of the event will go to the local food bank, and tickets are available at ramblerevents.com if you're interested in going to a live hog roast. Now, you don't hear many of those. That's another first for Cannon County, so there you go.
And Rambler is the event coordinator,
Right.
not somebody. It's just a
Yeah.
company. I got you. 'Cause
Did I
was gonna
make
say,
you
who
think
is
it was
Rambler?
a person?
No, but it says Rambler is hosting a hog roast. I'm
Well.
trying to think of who is Rambler. I don't think I've ever heard of Rambler, but then
No,
again.
it's an event
Gotcha. Okay.
company.
So we're squared away. We're good.
Okay, thank you. June 15th, Jack Finley Band will be at Short Mountain Distillery beginning at 6 p.m. You can enjoy dinner and listen to music. And you can sit out on the balcony and look at the view of that beautiful farm, because it is gorgeous. I like to just go up there and look out at the view. Of course, it doesn't take much to make me happy anymore, but that's one of the things that I like. June 22nd will be our next cruise in on the square, and it will take place from 4 to 7 p.m. And it is sponsored by DTC and hosted by the Chamber of Commerce. The May Cruiser of the Month, sponsored by O'Reilly's, went to Terry, where was I here? Oh, here he was. It was sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts, and They get to choose who they want to give this award to, whoever the sponsor is. And they chose Terry Sliger, and he was driving a 1958 Chevy Apache pickup. And it was a beauty. It was. But every month we will have a Cruiser of the Month award that will go to someone, and whoever sponsors it, it's their choice.
Do we know who's sponsoring it for June?
Yeah, the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, we're sponsoring it, okay. Or you're sponsoring it. By the way, I want to do a little plug. I'm DJing that thing.
Yes, he does,
Yes,
and he
I
does
do
a
that.
great job. He had
And
some
we have a lot
really
of
good
fun.
music this last one.
I played the same music
No, you didn't, Keith.
several times. Just wait. But at any rate, no, we play 60s music and 70s music.
Yeah.
And every now and then I'll sneak an 80s tune in there. But
They
we have a lot of
like
fun.
50s, 60s, you know.
We also want to put it on DTC TV. If you come out, we encourage you. If you've got four wheels, come out to this event, June the 22nd. It's going to be at the Courthouse Square, no matter where you are. You could be in DeKalb County watching this, Smith County, whatever. It's absolutely free, this cruise in. Not only that, but we have a 50-50 drawing that we do, and it's $1 a ticket, $5 per arm length, $20 for a car length. And what you do is you buy as many tickets as you want to, and at the end of the event, we're going to draw a number. And if that number belongs to you, you win half of the money that we have collected for the 50-50 drawing. Already, from what I understand, you correct me if I'm wrong, we're going to go ahead and just put $20 in the pot to get it started, and then we're going to collect everybody's money. Is that what we're going to do?
I guess so. You told them that.
Well, isn't that what that one guy who came last, he came
No,
to?
he just made a donation,
Oh,
but
well,
that's a
well.
good idea, Keith.
Okay,
I can do
thought
that.
he was wanting us to do that for the next one. That's what he kept saying. Just put it toward the next one. I'm like, okay, well, that's what we did.
That's what we'll do. Okay, good idea. All right, Friday, June 28th, CASA will host a trivia night. Everybody likes to see how smart they are about things, especially if they have their cell phone handy where they can look up the answers on
That's
this.
why we don't do trivia at the car shows. No.
CASA will host a trivia night at the Senior Center beginning at 6 p.m. And if you need information on that or anything about CASA or would like to volunteer, you can call Camille Smith at 615-542-6508 or call the chamber and I will tell you how to get in touch with them. July 4th, the fireworks show will be at Dillon Park. I believe the activities, which have usually been sponsored by the American Legion, will begin at 4 p.m. and the fireworks at dark. And I believe this year, because these events were separated the last couple of years, but I believe the town of Woodbury, the city of Auburn Town, and the Mooretown Fire Department will be putting this fireworks show on. So everybody loves a fireworks show.
And Mooretown usually puts on a pretty good fireworks show.
It does, and they usually
they're
did it
gonna-
at another time,
Yeah,
and they're
they
gonna
did it-
combine with
They did
us.
it at
so.
their place, but they're bringing it to Dillon Park, and we're gonna see a really good fireworks show.
Yeah, I believe we are. July 6th, the Lions Club Walking Horse Show will be at the Horse Show Arena in Woodbury. The gates open at 4 p.m. You will enjoy top walking horses and specialty classes, and I think as many people come for the concessions as they do for the horse show. I do believe that because they have the famous country ham sandwiches and fries and everything, hamburgers and everything you can imagine at the concession stand. And then they have a dessert table which has ice cream, homemade desserts, and now wait for it, fried apple pies. And I could sell 1,000 of them. I think last year we had something like 120. They were sold out before the second class, I think, because people kept saying, well, I'll come back later, and I thought maybe not. And those sell out.
So you're
really
telling me
fast.
if I want a fried apple pie,
You better get
there
it when
early.
you come in,
That's
that's
right.
all I gotta say.
That's right.
But Are you gonna be there doing that this
I
time?
don't know. I'm probably going to be in some facet, some way there.
Okay.
I can't stay away from
DTC
it now.
tapes it,
Yeah.
and I will be in the concessions. I will be in the dessert stand. That's where I've told them that I have to have a lifelong
She gets to be in
station
the
there.
dessert stand, so when she runs out of fried pie, she gets all the angry people. Yeah, I've heard them too.
Well, I'm used
I've
to
been
that.
around when some of those people that are not happy because
It's
there's not a
either
fried
that-
pie or a banana pudding or something, you know. Ice
Well-
cream. You all sold out of ice cream before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one year, you have to be careful what you set on my table over there.
Oh, yeah.
Because one year, someone brought in this big bowl of banana pudding. And I thought, now how am I going to serve this? You know, so what I did was I went and got cups, styrofoam cups, and I just filled each one of them full. Listen, that was gone. That was one of the first things to be gone. And the next thing I know is one of the gentlemen that was working the concession stand come over, and he said, my wife brought a bowl of banana pudding for the workers in the concession stand. And I said, really? And I says, well, I sold it. And he goes, the whole bowl? I said, you sat it on my table. I thought it was here to be sold, and I sold it, and I'm sorry. So I don't think that lady's done that since. Or if she did, they hide it because they don't let me see it, because I'll figure out a way to sell it. Okay, if you like horses and you like good food and a lot of fun, and box seats are available, but you have to call ahead and book them because they sell out the box seats. Some people rent them 1 year for the next year. So you can call Bruce Steelman at 615-563-2554, and he'll be able to give you all the details on that. And then Gazaway will hold a fireworks show. They're really getting into it. This is a small community, but they're really getting into this, and that will be on July 6th. And I'm sure they'll probably have some kind of a fish supper or something that'll go along with that. But they're going to have their own fireworks show, but that will be on the 6th. And of course, the horse show is on July 6th too. And the Art Center, right now they've got Junior Conservatory going on, and they will have another week of that. And then in, I think in August, they start with the Senior Conservatory because they have 2 weeks of the junior. And those little kids get so excited. But anyway, some of the other things they got coming up will be the English Rain will be one of their concerts, and that's featuring the music of the Beatles. And that show begins at 7:30 p.m. on June 22nd and 23rd. They won't have a matinee. And then July 12th through the 27th, We Will Rock You, which will be the music of Queen, and that will be on stage on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and that will go through from July 12th through the 27th on the weekends. And they will have 2 Sunday matinees, which are at 2 o'clock. And you really need to call, even for this English Rain, because all of the Beatles tribute bands that come are very good, and they always sell out. So if you're wanting tickets, you can call the Art Center at 615-563-2787, and they will be glad to set you up. Keith, do you have anything more you want to talk about?
Well, we got sports season coming up in August. You got school is out, but then, of course, before you know it, we'll have school back in session again. And, of course, we've got always something, I'm sure you'll be promoting this next show, is the Cannon School event that comes up where they give all the school supplies away.
The We Care Cannon
Yeah.
giveaway will be the 28th of July.
So,
And that's a great event. Now, that is just for Cannon County children, and yeah, that I just can't tell you what a good program that is, because those kids get everything from haircuts to shoes to socks, underwear. You think that's not a big thing, but if you don't have any, it is. And they proud to come in there and get that underwear and those socks and shoes and haircuts and any kind of school supply that you'll need, they give them away. And that organization that puts that together, which is through Youth Dream, I believe, but they have a wonderful, they do a wonderful job of getting the supplies and putting that together. I was telling you about the senior conservatory at the Art Center, and this is for grades 7 through 12, will be July 8th through the 19th. And the junior conservatory, the first group, 1 through 6, grades 1 through 6, is going on right now. The next one will be June 17th through the 28th. And you can find out all the other things that the
And the Art
Art
Center
is
is very
involved in.
busy during these conservatories, are they not?
yes, they are.
Yeah. I want to mention also something that we've done in the Cannon Courier paper. Every year we do in May, right before school lets out, we do a Hall of Fame banquet to recognize some of the legends of Cannon County, played in Cannon County High School. We also recognize student athletes from the sports year. We are going to be doing a special section in the Cannon Courier in 2 weeks in our Monday and Tuesday paper in regards to those athletes and in regards to the Hall of Fame members. We had a really good class, as always. It was our 9th annual, and a really good turnout at the banquet. Abby Sism got inducted. Danny Young was a former Chicago Cubs pitcher, was one of them that got inducted. Justin Davis was our contributor because he contributed the field house for the baseball team this year. We had also, trying to think of some of the other ones, Jamie King and Denise, our Darlene Taylor Knowles, and there was one other football player that was inducted. But I had a great time out there, but if you'd like to get a copy, and I know people will, because it's going to be one of those things that they want to have to commemorate or look back on the event, it will be coming out in 2 weeks. So.
Okay, and I think that's going to be a wrap for this month. And I'm proud that you listened, and I hope I see you next time.
I hope that you laughed a little bit too.